everybody, and welcome. Happy Monday, happy June, happy summer, happy GT4 Rookies Championship season start. And we're away. I'm Kuja Terekov. Joining me tonight, as usual, for our lovely Monday broadcast, good friend of the program, Tyler Morgan. How are you doing tonight, Tyler?
I am happy and excited to be back in the broadcast booth. It's been a long way away from these rookies, and I'm interested to see what new faces come across our screens and what old returning foes are taking their next bite at that championship glory.
Yeah, 100%. Some familiar faces joining us back, and plenty of new names for us to get used to here in the commentators booth. So please do let us know if we're getting anything wrong, but should be quite a blast here tonight. 8-round championship starting off in South Africa at the lovely track at Kyalami. Before we begin that, though, we'll let you know the format has slightly changed on Mondays. So on Mondays, we just have the GT4 Rookies. The GT4 Open has been combined with the Wednesday GT3 to create a multi-class GT3 and GT4 championship. So if you are interested in that GT4 Open, do sign up for the Wednesday one, because on Mondays we just have the rookies, and the format for the rookies has slightly changed. There's a 15-minute qualifying, and it is a free-for-all. Usually it was split up between evens and odds, but now a 15-minute qualifying session before each 20-minute race. So the drivers have an opportunity to change things up should they not like their positioning from the first qualifying session, to change things up, and the grid will change in qualifying 2 for the second doubleheader of the 20-minute race. But that is to come. Let's go to the track for the beginning of the first qualifying session here in the GT4 Rookies Championship on Mondays.
Hezzy Thomas says, back at it like a candy addict. I would say it's a different type of candy we're talking about. But Sam Warden will lead out the first bit of the rookies that are out on the track right now. Sam Warden last season was in that Camaro. I don't want to get it wrong with Corvette, but like he was in that Camaro. Hezzy Thomas still in the Camaro compared to last season. Keyboard warrior over there, Landcloud still in the KTM. You'll see a few drivers that you may recognize, some you won't. But we're all here. Damn, I have hockey on Wednesdays. Yeah, I know. I'm abandoning your hockey sometimes to go to drive. So your team will have to live without me, Nyrads. But I can't wait to see what this new group of core what group these guys can do. We're missing De Santiago. We're missing a few drivers because they have graduated, not to the Open, but graduated to pastures far beyond our comprehension.
Yeah, certainly exciting to see the mix of old and new faces as well. Jacob Tinsley, I believe, a new face here in the Allied Racing 21 Porsche, just behind the KTM of Landcloud, returning for another season here with us at Trackalicious. Hope you are all having a great Monday so far, enjoying it with us here at Trackalicious. Always fun to see. Oh, and start the week off with some action in the rookies. Of course, it is the Rookies Championship, so we are looking for clean and competitive racing, not necessarily trying to be the best or be the fastest, but just doing it to the best of your abilities, getting some clean racing in with some fellow drivers, and just learning the game. Perhaps just some people picking up the game for the first time and getting to grips with how the GT4s handle a bunch of tracks in ACC that are not in a bunch of other sims. Kyalami is one of those. So perhaps also just a learning curve where just getting used to all the cars, getting used to the tracks, but nonetheless, happy to have everybody here with us.
Definitely. It'll definitely be a blast to absolutely butcher some of these new guys' names, like the 920 that is sitting in the pits. I do believe that's Karu? It's just the second A in that name always will give me the little bit of the heebie-jeebies, but like you got a few new names. You got Warren in the 28, Flournoy in the number 7 Porsche. could not get that name right if I tried. But everyone else's name for me is pretty easy. Drive fast and take chances. Yes and no. Also, funny enough, speaking of the 920, thank you for subscribing for 22 months.
There he is, Karu. He's back and on the podium with us here at Tracklicious. And thanks again to all those following before the broadcast. Didn't quite catch that on the stream, but thank you for all the support from us and all the admins in the background, the stewards, the managers, getting all these championships set up. We couldn't really do it without you guys supporting us here. So thank you for all you guys do for us to be able to provide this action for you here. And with Jared Warren approaching the final corner and now going through there to start his flying lap, just behind him, that I believe is the Camaro of Wade Georgeson, also starting a flying lap, not too far behind, actually completing one of his lap attempts, but it was not valid, so he will have to go around one more time. And we do have a valid lap on the board from Sam Warden in the 77 McLaren. A 1:59.55 is the time for our drivers to try and chase down.
Well, Gorgonson invalidated that lap. That's definitely not happening. Deal saying, it's behind me, isn't it? Yes, indeed it is. It's the McLaren that's behind you, Gorgonson. I'd watch out if I were you. Surprisingly, I only see 2 McLarens on this grid, which means they should be finishing 1-2 in this championship.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with the 2 McLarens. Currently on the top spot at the time being is Sam Warden, Dr. Porkchop in second, Landcloud third, Tinsley in fourth, and here's Shane Sullivan in the 617 BMW with a valid lap on the board, currently taking 5th place. Plenty of drivers still yet to complete a valid lap. 18 drivers with us in the season opener at Kyalami. I believe that was the Porsche. Just getting used to all everybody's names again. I believe that was Moreira in the 84, running a little bit wide there in that Brazil-themed Porsche. Rally Duchy across the line with a valid lap. Same with Thomas. And now Matroni gets involved in the number 5 McLaren, posting a time 2.5 tenths off of the provisional pole time.
Spady Bud talking some trash from the chat when he should be on track getting a lap done. That is crazy from Spady Bud. Sitting in the pits on his phone instead of taking a lap, costing himself possible positions is good. Nah, he says in the chat. Bro, you called his car ugly. What do you mean? You're talking from the pit lane. Look at his car. What do you mean? What's wrong with this?
Already rivalries getting developed here early on in the rookies. You love to see it. Before even the first bit of racing has began. Look at it. Okay, fine. We'll go and look at it. We'll go ahead and look at it. If you insist, Spady Bud. There you go.
There's 2 of them there.
There's 2 of them. It's the same as yours, Spady Bud.
Wow, that's crazy. You're talking trash to your own car. That's crazy. We're gonna ignore Spady Bud for the rest of the session. We're not gonna talk about it. Not even gonna acknowledge that man's existence anymore. The keyboard warrior Hezzy Thomas won, especially my heart last season, considering I started ACC on a controller. So like, I honestly love the fact that this man is currently on a keyboard. You can kind of tell just by the jankiness of how he turns in, and as Kuja had mentioned, kind of like last season, especially when you're on keyboard, you're either full lock or you're not at all. And there's an example of why it's a struggle on a keyboard as he goes way wide into turn 1.
Yeah, certainly a struggle going one way from the other 100%. Perhaps it's possible, if you guys have the points in the chat, it is possible to redeem an onboard lap with the driver of your choice. So if you love Hezzy Thomas and you would love to see a bit of onboard action from him, feel free to redeem that in the chat, as well as a few other options. I believe there's hydrate and a fun fact and a couple of other options I just can't remember off the top of my head. It's been a while. We've been off since the spring season has concluded, so gotta refresh myself of the options. Ryan Eason, though, in the Jurassic Racing number 2, finds himself on the second row in third position, 1.1 seconds off of the provisional pole time, still being held by Sam Warden. He was able to improve it by around a thousandth of a second, or 100th of a second, excuse me, but not really that much improvement for the time being, and it doesn't look like Matroni is quite able to match that pace just yet, but still 6 minutes left in the session for the drivers to improve their times.
You have a fun fact now, Kuja.
I have a fun fact. All right. Wait, but we can do a fun fact real quick. So the name of the Kyalami Grand Prix circuit in the Zulu language means my home. How about that for a fun fact? So this is it's probably the home of racing. It's been around for quite a while, actually. It opened in 1961. It did hold a few F1 events back in the past with a completely different layout. They were going in the opposite direction as opposed to the clockwise or a counterclockwise direction that they run now. It used to run in a clockwise direction, and this whole bit at the top here was pretty much non-existent, and then they remodeled the track in around the 90s, I want to say, and now it has been host to the 9 Hours of Kyalami and a couple of other like GT World Endurance events in the past, as well as a couple of local events. Super fun track, in my opinion. One of the top 3 tracks in ACC, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's hit or miss with others.
I understand why people could like it. Like, don't get me wrong, it's definitely. The problem is like it's one of those flow tracks. If you don't have the flow of this track, you'll never get it. Because it's so, especially in the like GT4, it's probably a little bit easier, but in the GT3, you're going so quick, and these corners come up on you so fast. It's especially Cheetah, that one section there. It's quite difficult. But we'll see Nicholas Woods cross the line. Hopefully he stayed valid there on that final run through. An improvement, but not a place of improvement.
Yeah, not quite able to get the position just yet, but he is still out there flying around, trying to gain any little bit of time he can, potentially trying to find himself in the top 10. Cooper, Warren, Moreira, Karu, and Bud still yet to set a lap time here. Not sure if there was any carryover penalties from last time. I kind of doubt it. But here, Rally Dutchy going through the final corner, the 16th corner in his 621 Janetta, currently has that final top 10 position, and he improves his lap time massively, nearly a second gain, and he finds himself up in 7th place now.
Very nice in that Janetta. I think the 921 and the 920 are participating in qualifying, just mostly due to the fact of they're too busy looking at their liveries and talking in chat. That might be the reason why Wade Gorgonson pulls over. He's done for his qualifying, possibly based off the time. I would think so. KTM's going to come across the line next. That is Lan Cloud. He's currently sitting in a P4 position. He would need about 3/10 improvement to get up into the top 3. He gets the 3/10 improvement, but not enough of the 3/10 improvement to move out. He is about 15 thousandths away from Mr. Easton in the number 2.
Yeah, lots of tight gaps. Yeah, good lap. Lots of tight gaps. The top 2 separated by about 3/10. Eason and Cloud separated by a blink of an eye. Porkchop, a bit of a gap between him and Cloud, and then Tinsley and Dutchy are pretty close, within a 10th of each other there as well. Same with Boswell, Sullivan, and then Georgeson, Florney, Woods, and Thomas also on the board, as Moreira is able to put a valid lap on the board in the closing stages. Lan Cloud pushing the track limits to the edge, running a little bit onto the grass, and that will invalidate this run, but luckily he will have enough time to go to the start-finish line to start another lap.
Yeah, I guess Spady Bud and Cairo are gonna take part in qualifying, which is fine. Octane, listen. I race with you on Wednesday. If you take him out, I'm not saying there won't be an anonymous PayPal donation in your PayPal. However, sometimes the gods work in crazy ways, you know? Like, just keep that in mind. As we keep on board with Shane Sullivan as he approaches the final turn, if he's still valid this lap, he will be able to he'll be able to finish this lap. Does he find any sort of improvement? Yes, he will. He'll find himself moving up to P8 with a 153.1. That's good enough for P8. He needs to find another 2/10, however, if he wants to get past Rally Dutchy or just build a bigger... I think someone just died.
Yep.
That was Spady Bud.
Yep. Can confirm.
Right. Yep, enough said about that.
And from one to another, Vicente Moreira losing the rear end of the corner, or the car, excuse me, before the 13th corner, the crocodile section before the big braking zone there. The Porsche just not able to keep the rear end in check, just sliding out, and that is the qualifying session done, unfortunately, for Vicente Moreira. Dr. Porkchop, the Chop Shop Racing, moving up from the Alpine, or the Alpine he was using
Alpine
last year, right? I get it because he's using the Jag in the Wednesday one. I always wanted to say that he was in the Jag, but nonetheless, in the Mercedes GT4 this time instead of the Alpine, finds himself in a good top 5 position, 1.2 seconds off of the provisional pole time set by Sam Warden, who is in the pits. So his time will stand, as will Ryan Eason, Dutchy, Moreira, Boswell, Warren, Bud, and Karu also in the pits, but everybody out on track who is on a valid lap is still able to continue until the checkered flag.
I'm not judging drivers or anything. Wasn't Porkchop in the back of the grid last season? Or like near the back? Like, was that the Alpine?
I think it was
that?
Yes. I think it was more car related than anything else.
Okay, because that's a massive jump for Porkchop.
Yeah, Porkchop, a very consistent driver. Like, always was able to pick his way through all the carnage. And yeah, always found himself. He always found himself in solid top 10 positions. Land Cloud across the line in the background there can take that 4th place position, and he will not be able to improve any further. Nicholas Woods, one of the few drivers remaining on a valid lap, currently in 13th place, and needs about 1.3 seconds. Or excuse me, that's more than 1.3 seconds. He's about 2 seconds of an improvement to catch up to Wyatt Flourney, who is in 12th place for the time being, and he runs wide at the final corner, and that is going to invalidate that flying lap attempt for Nicholas Woods. So 13th is the best that he can do. Dr. Porkchop, can he take 4th? No, he does improve his lap time, but unable to improve his position, and he will start at the front of the 3rd grow. Thank you very much for the follow. Hope you're enjoying the action so far in the Rookies GT4 Championship. The summer season getting started here at Kyalami. 15-minute qualifying session for race 1 completed.
Ooh. Did they always do full laps in the Rookies, or were they quarters last season?
I don't know. I can't really remember off the top of my head. But yeah,
neither can I.
Full formation lap here for the Rookies to get those tires and the brakes warmed up. Quick 2.5 minute session here for the drivers to get the setups ready, get the fuel in the car, get new tires on, and make sure they are ready for the 20 minutes of racing we have ahead of us. And let's remind ourselves of the starting grid for race 1. Sam Warden taking the first pole position of the season in the McLaren Racing number 77. He will have his McLaren teammate alongside him, Dom Matroni, in the Canarinos Racing team number 5. Up next, the first Camaro on the grid is Ryan Eason, the Jurassic Racing number 2. Will start from 3rd place. Land Cloud keeping him company on the 2nd row in the Grip Runners, number 13, KTM. Good start from Land Cloud, carrying over the good momentum from last season. Dr. Porkchop, the Chop Shop Racing, Mercedes AMG number 71, will start from 5th place. And keeping him company will be Jacob Tinsley in the Allied Racing number 21 Porsche. Starting the 4th row of the grid will be Rally Dutchy in the 621 Janetta, with Shane Sullivan alongside him for company. The 2 returning rookies from last season, Shane Sullivan in the 617 BMW. Vicente Moreira in the Victory of Conquest number 84 Porsche. And he will have fellow BMW driver Henry Boswell in the number 22, starting in the top 10. Wade Georgeson will be next in the 420-ounce 707 Chevrolet Camaro. Very bright and colorful livery from Wade. He always smashes the liveries out of the park. Wyatt Florney in the number 7 Allied Racing will start in 12th place. He will have fellow Porsche driver Nicholas Woods, the Meme Dream Team GT4. That's a tongue twister there. Let's try and say that 3 times fast. In the 33 will start in 13th place. The Keyboard Warrior Hezzy Thomas in the Dogbox Racing number 59 Camaro starts from 14th on the grid. Jared Warren in the number the number 28 BMW will start from 15th. And Spady Bud in the pretty livery, the 921 Porsche, will have Ryan Cooper behind him in the IMSA Performance 88 Audi. And according to Spady Bud, the ugly livery of Jaeger Karu in the 920, which is identical to that of Spady Bud in the 921.
That's gonna be memed this entire season. I'm gonna find a way to meme this the entire season. But that IMSA livery of Cooper actually looks really, really nice. The colors really stand out. It really pops. It's really eye-catching. So, too bad. Sadly, it's at the back of the grid. I would like to see that in that car at the front of the grid a little bit more. Just like Wade Gorgonson's livery, which also is very eye-catching. McLarens take each other out. Pork Chop wins the race. No, I'm not doing predictions. King race number 1. No, not getting predictions from me. Not this early.
We'll have Austin's predictions instead this time.
Yeah, Austin, get Austin in the freaking commentator's booth. Maybe he can curse people.
Right? That's Austin, right? Octane?
Yeah, that's Doyle.
That's what I thought. Okay.
I remember from last time when we tried to figure out who the heck that was. Yeah, no,
There we go. Look at that. Our memory's not always that bad.
I'm not doing commentators' curses this season. Not unless someone, I don't know,
slides Tyler a $5 bill.
Okay, he called me chicken. All right, hold on. Okay, we're doing predictions now. All right, Land Cloud will get into a podium position. Pork Chop will be outside of the top 10 in his first race in the new Mercedes.
Oh my goodness.
And Eason will win.
It's that it takes that it's very easy to convince Tyler to go back to his old ways. He's relapsed early, folks.
My eyes twitching right now, bro. Tempt me, I dare you.
We haven't had Tyler's predictions in 2 weeks, and he's already back with some bold ones. As the rookies approach the final sector, they will be lining up in zipper formation 2x2 from 1st to 18th. Any last minute brake and tire preparations can be done at this moment as they round turn number 13 and go through the slight little kink, the left-hander here at 14, before the infamous cheetah corner with that huge sausage curb on the inside, gravel trap on the outside. Very tight, very quick corner, very technical racetrack. A very unique challenge for the rookies here in round 1 as they round the final corner The rookies will go to the line, and the green flag will release them for their first 20-minute race of the season. The green flag waves. Ryan Eason gets a fantastic start already on the bumper of the leader. Sam Warden also with a pretty good jump. Matroni can't really match anything so far as the pace of Eason. Eason has the inside line, but will he give Matroni the space? He does. Sam Warden pulling away from the battling duo behind. And now everyone will try and file through the very tight turn number 3, through turn 4, and now into turn number 5. Oh, and a bit of a takeout there. Very deep on the brakes from the Chevy was Wade Georgeson and into the back of Moreira, but this is Jacob Tinsley trying to go down the inside of the Ginetta. A great move down Sunset. Can he get it done? It looks like he can. The Ginetta left him plenty of space, but the Ginetta coming back on the inside through turn number 7. These two going side by side, but the Ginetta is going to tuck in behind, and that is the position gain for the Porsche.
Yellow flags immediately. We didn't even make it 3 turns in the rookie season before the first yellow flag of the season comes out. Bring out the safety car is being called, as I do believe that is Gorgonson trying to get going now that he has finally made it past the sector line. We have the official leader of Sam Warden. Yeah, a little bit of a late braking move, or just missing brakes entirely by Gorgonson. Hits Moreira. Moreira, thankfully not in last. He's currently in 15th, but he'll have a fair amount of damage. Dr. Portchop now up into 4th, getting past the KTM of Lane Cloud within the first lap. So far, my prediction of him being outside the top 10 isn't coming to fruition just yet. Give it time, folks. Give it time.
And Ryan Eason is sending it down the inside of the final corner, but the McLaren has pretty unmatched top speed down the straight. So Ryan Eason really going to have to pick the right place if he wants to get the move done on the McLaren of Matroni in front. They were momentarily side by side, but the McLaren proving a very difficult car to overtake down the straights. Sorry to interrupt you there. It was just side by side.
No, it's all good. We have that chemistry where you can cut me off and it be okay. Yeah, no, the McLarens, especially from the Open last season, were very strong, very dominant. As that's a little bit of a moment there by Henry Boswell in that BMW. He's stuck in this kind of little configuration here with Moreira, and it looks like a Ginetta almost, but I know it's not. Yeah, that's a Porsche. I don't know, but Henry Boswell manages to get away from that incident and kind of get away from all that clutter and just keep moving on. Then you have Rally Dutchy being chased by Cooper. Actually, Cooper getting ahead of Dutchy, getting past that Ginetta and moving on up into P8. He was P17 at that time. Now he's almost gained a whole 10 positions.
Yeah, really good race so far from Ryan Cooper. Yeah, you're right. I believe started in 17th, already in the top 10. And currently in 8th place, has the Porsche of Tinsley in front for 7th place. Not too far up the road, and able to get through the Ginetta on that last lap. Land Cloud applying the pressure to Dr. Porkchop in the KTM. He wants his 4th place back, but can the KTM match the speed of the AMG? Down the start finish straight here at Kyalami. Technically there is a corner here, turn number 1. Is this slight little kink off to the right before the heavy braking zone at turn 2? One of the best overtaking opportunities around Kyalami. There's a yellow flag at Cheetah, the 84 and the 7 of Florney and Moreira getting involved in an incident there. Very difficult to go side by side through Cheetah with that sausage curb protecting the inside, the gravel trap protecting the outside. But it takes very skilled drivers to be able to go too wide through there.
And that curse belongs to Mr. DeSantiago. Moreira wants his positions back. He is pushing. Well, he is pushing. He's pushing right into a spin. So that curse is on DeSantiago for that one, folks. And Land Cloud still chasing Dr. Porkchop the doctor proving a little bit difficult with his medicine tactics. So hopefully Landcloud's trying not to take his medicine here, but if he wants to not take his medicine, he's going to have to make a sleight of hand move on that doctor to make sure that he throws the pills like kind of behind him, making it kind of mimic that it's in his mouth or something.
Yeah, totally, 100%. Landcloud trying everything he can to just stay close to that Mercedes, but it looks like Porkchop just has really good race pace around Kyalami here this evening. There's Shane Sullivan going through in 6th place with Tinsley and Cooper not too far off. And speaking of Cooper, he has gotten pretty close to the back of the Porsche. In the back there, that's Jared Warren trying to get the overtake done on the Ginetta of Rally Dutchy. The BMW trying to get into a higher top 10 position than he currently is, has Rally Dutchy in front. Ginetta protecting the inside line, but could this be the undercut that Jared Warren was looking for? Will have a great exit compared to the Ginetta, taking the inside. The BMW already shaping to the inside, looking for the move. The Ginetta so tiny, so small compared to the BMW, and the BMW tried to get across before the braking zone, but just didn't quite have the space. Just moving over a little bit too aggressively, I would say, before he was clear of the Ginetta behind. Slightly unlucky miscalculation there. I would say the BMW just a little bit should have been a little more hesitant to go over to the right as quickly as he did there.
That's a little unfortunate there by Warren. He had the overtake done on Dutchy. The Ginetta not so strong in the corners, as I do believe we had a change for the lead here. I'll get back to that in a moment, as we have Matroni actually getting past Sam Morton here. Let's figure out how that happened. It's a McLaren on McLaren. Matroni handles it just fine, and that is Sam Morton going wide, coming back onto the track, scaring the crap out of Matroni. But Matroni taking the lead off of that little incident move there. So Matroni will take the lead of the race based off of that alone. And Easton's not too far from this either. If either one of those drivers have another mistake, Easton can come in and clean it up. Then you got Landcloud and Dr. Porkchop in their own little tussle around that was accidental. I don't think he meant to do that.
I was hoping that the replay would catch the overtake, but the replay was not far back enough. So now we are just going to watch 30 seconds of Landcloud being in front of Dr. Porkchop already, and not really being able to see how the overtake was done. But the overtake was done and dusted just before popping in with Landcloud and Dr. Porkchop here. And so they are back to the positions that they started, with Landcloud being in 4th and Dr. Porkchop in 5th.
Sullivan in the pits? He beached the car? Like, why else would he go into the pits? This isn't like the Open where you need to do a pit stop. You can just keep going. There's no
Yeah, maybe just a miscalculation of fuel from maybe just carrying the qualifying load in the tank and not swapping over to the race fuel. But the 59 is also in the pits, so maybe those two coming into a little bit of an incident where they both picked up a little bit of damage. Don't want to say too much, just kind of saying potential situations that could have happened.
Oh yeah. Someone's gonna take the sausage and cheetah and go flying. I will pay for that. Like, that is something I want to see. But right now, what we're going to see is Jacob Tinsley try and get around the Ginetta of Dutchy, which finds themselves in now 7th place after avoiding an incident from, I do believe it was Warren, because Warren kind of just came across just a little too early and kind of pit maneuvered himself. Thankfully, still in this race, thankfully not a lot of damage done to that BMW. The Ginetta always is stronger in the corners. It's been easy for the Ginetta to get around, especially in these upper sectors, but once it gets to this straight, it's kind of a sitting duck against any other car. The Porsche may be less like to the Ginetta, but like it still has got more straight line speed than it. And you'll see it here, folks, as Jacob Tinsley just comes. Oh, maybe not. maybe they're about the same because Tinsley's not catching up at all here, Kuja.
No, not really. It looks like Dutchy just got a really good exit out of that final quarter, so he is able to maintain his position, but Sam Warden is now right on the tail of Matroni in this McLaren battle for the lead, and Ryan Eason in the background will be licking his lips at any opportunity potentially coming his way should the two McLarens, and Matroni running wide, having to dab on the brakes just a touch to keep the car under control, but Sam Warden taking a little bit of evasive action, not able to get by Matroni the same way Matroni was able to get by Warden. And now Matroni weaving around all over the road, trying to get the defensive shape into the corner, but Sam Warden really confident on the brakes, staying on the racing line, taking the fastest approach through the corner that he can, potentially lining up the McLaren into turn number 13. Very heavy braking zone after this slight right-hand corner into the very heavy turn at Crocodiles, but he's just not quite close enough to get the move done here.
No, not yet. We'll definitely get to see who gets the better exit out from Cheetah and into the final corner. Especially with the McLarens, which both have insane top speeds. Even the Camaro behind can't catch up. So let's see. Is Warden going to think about a dive here? He's in the slipstream. He gets to the little kink. Is there going to be a dive by Sam Warden here? Matroni kind of picks the middle-ish part of the track, but so far everything seems to go fine. Warden going for the better exit. A little bit of a slip and slide there by Warden. Not enough of a chance, though. He's trying to force Matroni into a mistake. He's not getting one, though. Matroni holding serve for now as they get ready to head into the second sector.
Yeah, going into the very quick sunset corner at turn 6. Very fast right-hander. Haven't personally driven it in the GT4s, but it's very, very quick in the GT3s. I'm sure it's just the same. Sam Warden oversteering the car through turn 7, just trying to hang on to the tail of the McLaren in front, as he is doing everything he can to potentially retake the lead of the race once again here, but it doesn't want to push too hard, as Ryan Eason will certainly look to pounce on any mistake by any of the McLarens ahead.
Oh yeah, if you're Eason here, you're looking at this like, please keep going. Oh, that was a little bit of a slide by Warden there. Thankfully, that power slide was recoverable. Porkchop has fallen away back quite a ways from Landcloud, about 2.5 seconds, however. He is ahead of Cooper by quite a ways of a margin, so Porkchop kind of in no man's land. The 621 of Rally Dutchy's bringing out the yellow flag.
Yeah, Rally Dutchy, unfortunately, dropping back in the Janetta after getting in that good top 10 position. Spady Bud benefiting from that, moving up into the top 10.
I also hope that Eason brought enough fuel. Eason had, fuel. No, that was Matt Hube. Matt Hube had fuel troubles last time. It was one of the two drivers. There were a few drivers that didn't have enough fuel last season. It was kind of crazy how, like, people run out of fuel.
Oh,
that's a tap by Warden, and there goes Matroni into the wall.
Yeah, he's able to recover the McLaren out of the wall, now under pressure from Landcloud, who just might find himself on that podium position. A bit of rear damage on that McLaren certainly will not help the grip levels of the McLaren through the quick corners, and the KTM already all over the rear end. Sam Warden dropping back as well. Ryan Eason takes the lead of the race, and I think Sam Warden, being a good sport, just showing some good sportsmanship here, hoping to give the position back to Matroni, but he is already under pressure from the KTM, so not the easiest of situations that Sam Warden and Matroni finds themselves in. And like I said, Ryan Eason licking his lips at any opportunity that might come his way, and the opportunity did come, and he will try and run away from this battling trio.
The ugly car of Spady Bud is in the pits, and there goes Matroni going wide. Here comes Landcloud down the inside. Down the hill they go. They're going to go side by side. Landcloud with a little bit of an advantage just ever by the front part of his bumper. They make contact going all the way down the hill. Forced out wide going side by side, there's a little bit of a gamble, especially if you're on the inside. That curb kind of, the track goes away from you ever so slightly. The race leader, or was the race leader now, is now out of the podium positions and somehow with the fastest lap of this race. He's still got 5 minutes to figure it out, but he is definitely looking at Sam Warden like, dude, come on. We were racing so fine up until that point, and the doctor's watching on asking, have you been taking your medicine?
Yeah, he's certainly doing the same that Ryan Eason was doing on the previous laps. Sam Warden now leading this trio for the podium positions. He finds himself in second place, Land Cloud in third, and Dom Matroni, after falling back from the lead, finds himself in fourth place after contact with Sam Warden. I think Sam was just trying to get a really good exit out of the corner, but Matroni did a really good job of just parking his car on the apex and just not giving Sam Warden anywhere to go. And just a bit of an unfortunate incident there in the way that Matroni was spun completely around. Land Cloud heavy on the curb, spinning the KTM, parking it right on the racing line, and Dr. Porkchop with a front end collision.
Ouch.
The KTM and the 71 AMG colliding. Ryan Cooper moving up into fourth place after starting all the way back in 17th.
Just saying, I might have gotten that one right. Just saying, for all the pork chop things. Actually, where is Porkchop now? Oh, no, he's still in sixth. Okay, he's still inside the top 10. But he's definitely got heavy front end damage. Oh my God. The state of that Mercedes is just sad. Eric is having a tear fall down his face right now, seeing that destroyed front end of that Mercedes.
Yeah, certainly very heavy contact, but nowhere for Porkchop to go. It was just, that car was just perfectly perpendicular on the racing line. It's a very difficult place for cars to avoid it, going through the pretty blind corner, especially through the beginning part, and especially with where the KTM was parked. Yeah, just super unfortunate, super unlucky. But Porkchop, though, has pretty good pace considering all the damage he has. He is right on the tail of Jacob Tinsley for that final top 5 position.
Move?
He's already looking to the inside of turn 1. Very late on the brakes is the AMG, really confident going into turn 1, and he gets the move done.
What a move by the doctor. Medical school is now in session, and that was a clinical cut, surgery style like move from Porkchop there. Just late enough on the brakes where he doesn't go down into turn 1 and into the gravel, but it does enough to stay ahead of Jacob Tinsley, who, to be honest, really didn't fight it all that too much. And I guess you can't really fight the doctor if he's trying to give you medical advice.
No, certainly not. The AMG just seemed to carry a lot of speed down that main straight as well. And Jacob Tinsley, perhaps just knowing that it's not quite his fight, not quite his race, just happy to be in the position that he is currently between Porkchop and Land Cloud, and the KTM will certainly look to take that position from the Porsche and try to get as many points as he can after that unfortunate spin on the exit of turn 7. The leader is on the final lap of the race. The leader being Ryan Eason in the number 2 Jurassic Racing. Just 2.8 miles, 16 corners for him to negotiate for the final time. And he will take the inaugural win of the Rookies Summer Championship around Kyalami.
I did say Easton would win the race, you know, so just saying, where's my credit? Oh, is he alive? Oh my goodness, that was scary from the 920 of Cairo, who hit the sausage curb and went flying. Now, Rally Dutchy, here's the problem. You're in a Ginetta. You're not getting that place. Not in the straights, at least.
Not in the straights, but we've seen Rally Dutchy really high up the field in this race, at least. He was up as high as 6th place, I do believe, before a bit of a moment bringing out the yellow flags, but it doesn't look like there's any damage to that Ginetta. And yeah, like you said, through the straights, just not quite able to have the pace. There's a brief yellow flag there for the 617, who did come into the pits earlier as well. A brief yellow for the 921 of Spady Bud also. But Rally Dutchy here just now dropping back a little bit, maybe just doing a little bit of fuel saving, as he has certainly fallen off of his usual pace here.
I was about to say, is he driving slow on purpose, or whatever the case? Easton is in the final corner. The race will belong to him after the two McLarens couldn't decide who wanted to be P1 in this race. And they decided, you know what, let's give it to Ryan Easton, who currently wins race number 1 here in the rookies season. Tires may be gone, absolutely, probably. Kyalami's horrible on the tires. Sam Warden will take P2. Matroni will take P3. That rounds out the podium positions. Ryan Cooper, from second to last on the grid, finds himself inside the top 5 for P4. Porkchop, from back of the grid last season, finds himself P5 with Tinsley 6th and Landcloud 7th for a tight finish for 5, 6, 7. Warden's gonna find himself P8. Could have been maybe a little bit higher if he didn't have the clash with the Ginetta of Dutchy and losing a few places. Boswell behind him is going to finish in 9th. Kairu is going to finish in P10. Dutchy eventually, when he crosses the line, out of P. Oh, wait a minute. This might be close, folks. Or wait, that's a different car that finished up ahead. That is the 33 of Nicholas Woods, who finished 16th. Rally Dutchy will finish 11th. Vicente Morera in that beat up victory of Conquest. Not much of a victory, but there definitely was a conquest. Will find himself 12th. And the driver that shall not be named will finish 13th. Ezzy Thomas, the keyboard warrior, slowly drifts across the line to find himself P18. Badly for him, the keyboard not producing any luck. The driver that shall not be named is going to finish 13th. Sullivan's going to finish 14th, and then Carr, number 7, and Flournoy is going to finish P15, and that will complete race number 1. And unlike last season, there is a qualifying session now.
Yep, unlike last season, going into another 15-minute qualifying session for the drivers to perhaps perfect those laps that they couldn't quite get in the first session. Congrats to our podium sitters, Eason, Warden, and Matroni, for finishing out on top in race 1. Big shout out to Cooper for that outstanding run up the field from 17th to 4th in just 20 minutes.
Well, that's what happens when you get a ton of incidences and just managing to kind of not have to worry about it. I'm going to take a look at the Dr. Porkchop. We are so bad. Easton in the Discord just at Sam Warden, thanks for P1, LOL. Shots fired! Shots fired! Oh, I love the rookies. The banter will never get old between them. I'm so thankful I'm not driving in the rookies this season. I would be like, I'm a little bit mean when it comes to my trash talk. So, in the broadcast booth, I have to keep it to a mild minimum, except for Spady Bud. That man can just,
He started it,
he started it. I'm finishing it.
Yeah, fair enough. We'll have to talk to Dad, and we'll point fingers if Dad has a problem with it. But nonetheless, the second qualifying session, 15 minutes, no even or odd splits like last season. Everyone is able to go out at the same time to try and get that perfect flying lap to determine the grid order for the 20-minute race we have ahead of us.
It'll be interesting to see how the drivers react to having a second qualifying. like, I'd be interested. I'll be asking our podium finishers from both race 1 and race number 2 eventually when we get to the interview point after the end of race 2, what that's like, because like you get the first qualifying session, which, okay, you qualify for race number 1, but then suddenly you have to go from a race pace to a qualifying pace. You know what? I can contribute this to when the F1 has a sprint weekend, because what they do is practice number 1, sprint qualifying, and then that's the Friday. And then the Saturday, they have the sprint that goes into qualifying. Or then you have qualifying for the actual race. So, like, I'll be interested to see how that affects the rookies. Because, like, for me, this would have been a perfect format for, like, the Open. Instead of, like, the rookies, in a sense. But, you know, it'll be interesting to see how the rookies react to go from that race pace, kind of like conservative-ish, because it's a sprint, obviously, feel versus going into a qualifying session, like not having a break in between, basically.
Yeah, certainly a different format. Certainly interested to see what the drivers think of it as well. And yeah, like you said, slightly different. I kind of like it a little bit more since it allows the drivers to revamp the order from grid 1 to grid 2. Perhaps they just didn't quite have the lap down that they needed to get up into as high of a position as they may have liked. As we saw there, pretty good race pace from the Audi, but just not able to get a qualifying lap down all the way up from 17th, or up the way up to 4th from 17th, I should say, showing that qualifying isn't everything. If that Audi maybe even started as high as 4th, maybe that Audi would have been the one finishing on top instead of the Camaro and benefiting from all those incidents.
You and I kind of had this discussion before the stream started about like how last season with the especially with the pit lane starts, you couldn't qualify, so you'd be like kind of just stuck out for the second to last race. You'd either be at the back of the grid. Oh, you'd be at the back of the grid, so it's just kind of like well, this kind of sucks. Why can't I qualify? Take my pit lane start for race 1, and then kind of just take my grid spot for race 2. And I guess having this new format, kind of like if you have a pit lane start for race 1, you're not totally screwed out for race number 2 because there's another qualifying session. Real High, sup to you too, Miss Miss Real High.
Thank you for the sub.
Yeah, thank you for the sub. Thank you for the sub, Miss. Is Real High mom? Is that what this equivalates to now? And DeSantiago says it. I like it. Allowed other driver to get another chance to change the starting position, especially if they're still getting used to the car and track. Yeah, I would agree with that. Easton's bait. Oh, well, you wanted Cooper to get his qualifying lap. Well, there it is. He's effectively P2. He's almost a full second behind? What is Easton on? I guess Easton wants this championship done and over with in race number 1.
Yeah, the lap time, I believe, set by Sam Warden was a 50.94 in qualifying 1. They should be a little bit higher this time around with the temperatures creeping up just that slight little bit, with the sun getting up higher at 1 p.m. as opposed to the race session earlier was a little bit earlier in the day, same with the qualifying. And so we should be seeing slightly higher lap times due to the tires just not quite being able to have as much grip as they did in those cooler conditions.
Yeah, and if I saw this correctly, the race for race number 2 is at 6 p.m. So that's gonna be a little bit of a fun little drive. You know what? I'm gonna do this because I can. You'll see in a minute what I'm about to do.
I think I have an idea of what's about to happen.
You have an idea?
Yeah, Matroni was just in front of Hezzy Thomas there for the onboard lap, which we are about to redeem. And Tyler,
he's gone.
Take it away.
All right, so Hezzy Thomas, the keyboard warrior from last season, he had a full bunch of highlights. And you can tell he's on a keyboard because of just kind of how janky the wheel is. If you look to the wheel on the left-hand part of your screen, especially when it goes into a turn, look at the reaction times, folks. Look at this wheel go. Left, right, left, right. Honestly, could not do this in an F1 car with how crazy this is. You're either full stick turning or you're just like straight up just not getting any. Oh my goodness. How is he saving those?
Just showing off for the cameras.
Honestly, he just might be showing off for the cameras now at this point. Because like, I'm gonna do this on my keyboard. So he has gas and brake, assuming he's using WASD, like a normal human breed. He has gas and brake, left, right. He has to do gear shifts, because I'm pretty sure it's going manual.
It certainly sounds like it's manual, that's for sure.
Like, this is insane. He could be 10 seconds behind the field, and like, it wouldn't matter to me because he's doing it on a freaking keyboard. Like, I thought doing this on controller was difficult. Man's doing this on a keyboard like it's just an average day. It's sadly not his fastest lap. It's a 2 minutes, so he's 9 seconds off the lead lap. But like, still, quite literally by the grace of God, he is doing it. He's going a little too deep into turn one. He kind of needs to cut the corner there a little bit more, but on a keyboard that might be a little bit difficult. But there was a full onboard lap from our keyboard warrior, Hezzy Thomas.
Yep, sure was. A bit of a wild one too, drifting it through the S's at turn 8 and 9, putting on a bit of a show for us in the number 59 Camaro. Currently sitting in 15th place. Rally Dutchy just outside the top 10 in 11th place. Not able to improve at the time being, as Sam Warden posts the provisional pole time once again in the number 77 McLaren. A 51.152 is the time to chase down.
Spady Bud hasn't set a lap time. Good. Very good.
You've developed a rivalry already.
Yep, he's lucky. He's lucky I'm not out on track, right? That's all I'll say, folks. That's all I'll say on the matter. He's lucky I'm not out on track. He's been really quiet as of late, though, so
busy driving.
Keep that. For once, he's driving. You know, he's not just sitting in. I'm waiting for him to be driving and type in chat somehow. Like, honestly, he will find a way. As Matroni looks to try and find, honestly, a little bit of less of a 10th. If he can find a 10th, he'll get past Easton and it'll be another McLaren 1-2. Been hearing a lot of that in F1. And he is going to find that. He's going to find about 2 tenths, actually. And make it a McLaren 1. Nairati will be happy with that. Yay. There's no... You just realized the Astons. Wow, I'm going to cry. There's no Aston GT4s. I'm gonna need a minute. I'm gonna go drink in sadness.
It might just be for this race. Of course, the rookies do have the option to change cars in between races, so perhaps just the Aston not tickling the fancy of the rookies around Kyalami, but maybe we'll see some on the grid as there are 2 cars parked up on the right-hand side of the main straight. That was a 621 of Rally Dutchy parked up there, as Dr. Porkchop has to avoid all that as he crosses the line for 7th place on the grid for the time being, about 1.6 seconds off of the provisional pole time currently held by Sam Warden. Also in the pits, perhaps just getting his tire pressures adjusted for one more flying lap run attempt. And we'll just have to wait and see those times do indeed start tumbling down, or whether these are the times to beat. Lots of drivers in the pits at the moment.
Now, Nairats, take a lap in terms of the fact that there's no Aston Martins and I'm sad, or take a lap at the fact that I'm chatting up Spady Bud right now while he's out on track. I'm interested to see which one. I'm interested to see which one you want, because you were in the rookies at one point too, but then you graduated because you kept getting podium positions, and I kept being sad. I'll never be able to catch this man, ever. For some strange reason, the pro scene is just too good here at Trackalicious. There's too many fast guys. Landcloud actually sitting in a not too bad P4. Cooper finally getting a lap in, so he's P5. If they're not out on track now, odds are their qualifying is done. That is take two.
DeSantiago saying that he's suffering in the open after recently just graduating from the rookies. But that's what happens when you're a championship winner, Brian.
The fact of what's funny about that is that he won the championship and he won the random draw. That's what was even funnier. Is he's won the championship and he's won the draw, and that is Easton splitting up the McLaren 1-2 with an absolutely mega lap.
Yeah, and crucially, he is still out on track, so he still has a say. And right as I say that, he is no longer on the track.
And commentator's curse.
Exclamation mark curse in the chat, and that will increase our tally for the commentator's curses.
I mean, so I guess what? Because I was right that Easton won the race. I was wrong that Porkchop didn't finish outside the top 10. What was my other one? I honestly genuinely forget.
I think that was it, wasn't it?
No, I made 3. I always make 3.
You had, didn't you predict the Audi finishing high up?
No, it wasn't the Audi.
Oh.
I'm trying to think who it was. I honestly, I can't remember. It's probably best that way if we don't. It's probably best if we don't add another curse to the curse counter.
Yeah, fair enough. Flournoy there, right as we tuned in, was running just a little bit wide, so he unfortunately invalidated his lap there on his last attempt. Thank you for the follow, Hypo. Much appreciate the support here. Hope you are enjoying the rookies' action so far with qualifying wrapping up, or the second qualifying session, I should say, wrapping up here. Just under a minute to go for the drivers to do anything about it. Most of them are already in the pit lane, unable to improve on their lap times that they have already set, with the temperatures climbing near or into the 40s now on the track.
Hezzy Thomas is faster than Speedy Bud. Life is good. for the number 7, however, life is not good, as he spins out just before that. What is it? That's not cheetah. What is it? Alligator.
Crocodile.
I was
the other teethed reptile.
Yes, the other teethed reptile. So, all right, folks, that's it for qualifying. If the drivers are on a lap, they can continue it. However, if they have taken the checkered flag or they're in the pits, they are done. So that would be the number 28 done, as he yellow flags. Number 21 can't improve as he's gone outside of track limits. Maybe ACC kind of has a glitch where sometimes y'all want to know how. Yes, please tell me how you shift genuinely, because like
$20.
It already.
Wouldn't that be funny?
Rally Dutchy, according to the Rally Dutchy camp, lost all button inputs on my wheel, and I was stuck in 3rd gear for the last 2 laps.
Oh no.
So that's why he was fucking slow.
Gotcha, yeah.
Because he was stuck in 3rd gear. Up arrow for left for upshift, left arrow for down. What in the world is that? It's not even the down arrow for downshifts? Like, you couldn't have at least made it symmetrical? You just had to go left. As Shane Sullivan doesn't improve, he'll stay 6th. Porkchop invalidated, so it's literally just Landcloud to improve. You'd have to improve by 3/10. He does not. So that's it for qualifying, folks.
Yeah.
The top 3 remains the same. And Hezzy Thomas, down arrow is left blink. Why? Why
Make
must
it
you
make
torture your
sense.
commentator? Make it make sense. So wait, what's right arrow?
The right indicator is my guess.
If it's not the right indicator, you might actually hear my mic go flying.
Yeah, I think we might stop the stream here and just call it a night.
What is the right arrow, Hezzy?
He's gonna
What
leave. He's gonna
is
leave
it?
us. He's gonna leave us hanging until.
The stream will not continue until I know, Hezzy. Traction. Fuck. Sorry for the swear, folks, but. Caribbean, we don't use indicator. Oh my god, this. Oh, I love this group of already. Except one. That one person shut up. All right, you mind if I take us through the grid walk?
Yeah, do it. Race 2, Tyler, take it away. Here is our grid walk.
BMW driver. Sam Warren will take another pole position. However, that pole position didn't work out for him well the last race. As Mr. Ryan Eason in the P2 Jurassic Racing, hopefully we'll get delivery to load next week. Took the race win last time. Now you got Matroni, who sadly lost out on the race win because of Sam Warden. So he's going to look for revenge here in race number 2. Then you have Land Cloud in P number 4 and that beautiful, beautiful KTM grip runners. He sits in the second row. Ryan Cooper, not second to last on the grid this time, but will find himself on the third row, P5, and he has got Shane Sullivan for company. We'll be racing with him on Saturday in a lovely 24-hour endurance in the 617 racing car. Dr. Porkchop, the doctor, is in the house, not as high up as he was last time, but still a respectable 7th place. Then you got Wade Jorgensen in that 420 Oz. That car just looks so good. The Pink Pony Club on the back definitely adds a little nice touch to it. Vicente Morera finds themselves in a P9 victory of Conquest. That car still to this day will look so, so nice. And to round out the top 10, you have Jacob Tinsley in the Allied Racing. It's not a Lamborghini, that's a Porsche, I think.
Yes.
Porsche number 21 in P11. You have Rally Dutchy, hopefully not stuck in third gear for the final 2 parts of the lap this time. We'll sit P11. He's got Flournoy for company in P12, that number 7 Porsche. Another Allied Racing vehicle, his teammate up in P10. And now you got 2 BMW boys in 13th and 14th respectively. You got Henry Boswell in that Knives BMW. And then you have Jared Warren in the Commons BMW. He found himself in a little bit of a tangle with Rally Dutch. He's not too far up the grid. You got Nicholas Woods in the Meme Dream Team GT4. Oh my goodness, that car actually looks kind of sick now that I've gotten a little bit of a closer look for it. He's in P15. The keyboard warrior, Hezzy Thomas, we had a full on-board lap with him the last time around, will sit in P16. Hopefully, we will have the... Oh my goodness, what is Spady Bud doing?
Warming up the tires.
What? That's one way to warm up the tires. He'll find himself P17. And then you have Yager Kairu in the 920. He'll find himself P8. Oh my god. Okay, I'm about to have a brain aneurysm, folks, on stream. Hezzy Thomas said B is TC down, N is TC up, number 4 is ABS down, number 6 is ABS up, and blinkers are non-existent.
Yeah, makes sense. Checks out.
I'm gonna have a talk with that man to better. Me and Hezzy Thomas are gonna have a sit-down interview, maybe for race number 2, and I'm going to help him configure his keyboard so it's correct, and I don't have a brain aneurysm now every time I look at his onboard.
Yeah,
like,
you know,
it's
always fun.
That is the equivalent of having your gear shifter in the back passenger seat. Like.
Yeah, granted, you don't have to change the TC and ABS too much throughout the majority of the lap, so they're not really buttons you have to access too often, so just perhaps in between gear changes, He's able to quickly get to the B and N and the 4 and the 6 and whatever other buttons he might press for headlights. Certainly not the indicators, because those are not mapped. Formation lap, an absolutely full one under our belts here. 6 p.m. local time. The sun is beginning to set, the shade falling under certain parts of the track. The drivers getting in line for the zipper formation for the start of race 2. Now just a few moments left for them to prepare the tires, get the brakes, and get themselves ready for some more racing action here. After that qualifying session mixed up the grid just that ever so slight bit from the first qualifying we had. And now race 2, just a few corners away. Tyler, take it away.
All right, this will be my first time actually going off for the flag, so this will be interesting to see. Got to make my first one count. Mustard, if his clutch pedal is the gas and the Y button's the brake, I might actually throw my microphone into space. But that's never the case. We're gonna not focus on that right now. Ooh, Easton trying to get a little bit of a jump on Sam Warden there on the leader as they slowly slide into zipper formation. The green flag all but awaits them. Land Cloud's going to be side by side as soon as this green flag rips, and there it goes. 5 green lights and off they go. Currently, as it stands, Matroni's going to hold out well. Sam and Ryan Easton are going to go side by side. Matroni, don't you dare think about making that a 3-wide situation. Thank God you did not. However, down the inside goes Matroni. The outside's going to become the in, and the in's going to become the out. Easton's going to hold on to P2 as it stands right now. We have yellow flags in the background. That is Boswell and somebody, and I think the 33 of Nicholas Woods that have come in together after turn 1. A few cars getting involved in that as they all stand down into the back of the grid. Everything holds serve right now as it stands. Porkchop actually getting ahead of Sullivan now. Yep, that is stands how it stands, and that is Ryan Cooper going to go down the inside of Matroni through that wonderful corner, and he's going to find himself now in the podium positions. That Audi showing incredible pace throughout these corners, and that is the 13 of Land Cloud actually, who's, oh my God, I didn't even notice he's not up here. Where has Land Cloud gone? Into that instance, he has tumbled down the order, Kuja, and right now Ryan Cooper found himself in a podium position.
Yeah, Ryan Cooper moved up 2 places at the start, getting by the KTM through turn number 3, and then through Matroni after sunset into turn number 7, and he will look to chase down the leaders. Sam Warden still in the lead, Ryan Easton still in second, but Ryan Cooper really mixing up the order here. He is up in that podium position. Matroni not too far off behind in the McLaren. Dr. Porkchop in 5th, Sullivan 6th, Boswell in 7th, Tinsley in 8th, Warren 9th, Georgeson in 10th place. Hezzy Thomas in a strong position, currently in 11th place. And yeah, Land Cloud, like you said, it was the same moment he had in race number 1, just a bit of oversteer over the curbs at turn 7 and found himself on the inside of the corner, just nowhere or no room for him to be able to save it. While there is battling going on in the background, this is Wyatt Flournoy getting to the inside of Hezzy Thomas. This is the battle for 13th place. The Porsche has the inside. The very twitchy Camaro around the outside stays on to 3rd position, and the Ginetta of Dutchy will try to benefit from this as well. There's a quick yellow flag, and that is the Porsche spun around.
Down the inside!
Wow, Dutchy sending it in from deep. The 21 there was spun out. That was Jacob Tinsley now able to rejoin, but the Porsche with the straight line speed down the inside gets the position back.
What? I can't believe I saw the Ginetta take that from about like 4 car lengths back. I don't know if he just missed his braking zone and braided and hit somebody. But it almost worked out for him, but sadly the straight line speed of the Porsche is just a little too much for the Ginetta to handle. Hezzy Thomas wants to test the lawnmower capabilities of that Camaro. I would not recommend that. Currently, as it stands right now, oh, I see. Mr. Cooper, you have lost your place to Matroni. Matroni now back on that final podium position. However, one of the newer rookies that we have on the grid this season definitely isn't going to let that go without a fight. However, Cooper is in a very experienced sandwich right now. You have Sam Warden, Ryan Eason, and that is Jared Warren in a fight with Boswell, I believe. That is the number 22. Yes, it is. Ooh, don't squeeze him too much, Jared. You know what happened last time with the Ginetta, and it's not a squeeze this time that happens to hurt him. And oh my goodness, the Porsches just walked through that like it was nothing.
Yeah, the Porsche's splitting the two BMWs as they come into contact from the front to the rear left of Jared Warren, spinning out the purple BMW, and good sportsmanship from the gray 22 to just stay put there. 3 wide in the background there, going through turn number 2, oversteer from the purple BMW. This turns into a 4-car battle in no time, and the Ginetta again with the late move to the inside of the BMW, a bit of oversteer. The purple BMW goes deep, and the position is lost by the Ginetta to the Porsche of Flournoy, and the two BMWs continue to battle it out here for now 10th and 11th place.
Is the Porsche okay? Or sorry, is the Ginetta okay? The Ginetta in like the first 2 turns just sends it literally every time. I don't know if he's missing his braking zone and just like panicking, but like he is just, oh good. The Ginetta goes screaming off the track of Rally Dutchie.
What happened there?
I'm sorry, folks. That was just so funny.
What? I couldn't even tell what happened. He's back. It's not. It doesn't look like he really lost any time. It might have just been a weird little like screen glitch.
Bro drifted the entirety of that sector. As DeSantiago said, it looked like he honestly went into the shadow with how far gone he went off my screen. See, there he is again.
Yeah, what is happening to him?
Is he just drifting the Ginetta on purpose? What?
He might have an issue. That doesn't look right.
I was about to say, his buttons might be screwed up because he's just having trouble.
Yeah, that was... I am not really sure how to explain that. Yeah, Dutchie back in the pits. Oh my goodness. Yeah, like you said, Santiago, OMG, into the fullest level there. Hezi Tavis hanging on to 13th, though. Very good position for the 59. He's got 3 Porsches for company. Nicholas Woods, Vicente Moreira, and Jacob Tinsley in the 21. Now getting through Nicholas Woods. Vicente Moreira flashing those lights, just trying to distract the driver in front. And this might be the move that Vicente Moreira was looking for. He's got a great speed exit out of turn number 5 going into Sunset. Very difficult corner to do on a keyboard. You need to get the steering input just right to maintain the right amount of speed, but Hezi Tavis showing no difficulties there, squeezing the Porsche to the outside, giving him no room to brake there. But fortunately, Moreira holding on to the Porsche, just dropping back a few places though behind Nicholas Woods, and this battle for 13th down to 16th continues.
Oh, don't do it. Okay. That was a little bit interesting move. I'm scared that he was going to try and do what I thought he was. Nevertheless, he just cuts the corner and decides, you know what, I'm gonna just cut the corner there. That scared me a little bit. Warren's got Flourney for company right now. So, in goes Flourney. Oh, that is a move you don't do there, son, sadly enough. And I do believe that is Boswell that's going to take... Thank you very much, Motive, for that. As that was just a little bit unfortunate there for Flourney, as he kind of decided to go up the inside and just kind of missed the corner there. Tinsley had a little bit of an off moment there, so he's gotten a little bit of a shaky start. I think Hezi Thomas is doing a great job defending all 3 Porsches. However, he has sadly lost all of at least the position to Woods and Moreira now. So he's slowly falling down the grid, but he won't be last due to the... I think Dutchie definitely has a mechanical problem. Mechanical or technical, which one you want to call it, with his car, because... Is Moreira okay? Is his suspension kind of screwed? Because he's cutting all parts of the track right now.
Yeah, it certainly looked like there's a bit of front end damage to the Porsche, so maybe just suffering a bit in that grip department, like you said. Yeah, just not able to carry as much speed. The sun continuing to set here at Kyalami, but the race certainly heating up. Land cloud around the outside and the KTM at sunset. That's not a move you see very often. Fantastic amount of grip in the number 13, gets around Hezzy Thomas, and he takes 15th place as he tries to chase down the Porsches of Moreira and Woods in front.
Georgeson's actually 7th, surprisingly. A car that doesn't really have a lot of pace from what we know, at least from last season, doesn't have all that much type of kind of pace, is currently P7, so good for him. Cooper's kind of fallen away from Matroni, so nothing too crazy there. The 920 of Cairo looking for a move on Jorgensen. The driver that shall not be named not too far behind at about 1.5 seconds. A straight line speed advantage definitely will go to the Camaro Porsche here. So I won't think that will be a move into turn 1, but maybe through sector 2 and a little bit of sector 3 where the track is a little bit more windy, he can probably get the move done there. We're halfway done.
Yeah, we certainly are.
I feel like everything has just happened.
Yeah, pretty much everything has happened, and then some, really. We've still got 10 minutes of action to go. The leaders separated by about 2.2 seconds each. Sam Warden currently out in front. The lead McLaren, the 77, leading from Ryan Eason, who leads from Matroni, rounding out the podium positions for the time being. Ryan Cooper in a strong 4th position, holding off Dr. Porkchop in 5th place, and he has Shane Sullivan for company, not too far behind. They're within a second of each other, Mercedes and the BMW, fighting for that final top 5 positions. And like you said, Wade Georgeson in a strong top 10 positions, but under pressure from the Porsche of Car. The cameraman can't even keep up with how fast these cars are going through here. And Wade Georgeson just a little bit of a slide on the exit here, going down the hill through the mine shaft, this very quick left-hand corner into a very tricky braking zone to get right. The Porsche's gonna send it down the inside, late on the brakes, locking the front, drifting around. A bit of a tap from the Camaro on the back of Karu, and unfortunately for Karu, losing the place to Spady Bud, but Wade Georgeson hanging on to 7th place for the time being.
That hood is flapping a little. The Santiago has had more curses than we did, because he literally said the chaos storm has passed for the time.
For the time.
So De Santiago has had more curses in this stream than we've had. Actually, no, I think it's tied. I think it's 2 for 2. So, but still, the fact that a chat commentator, can I take it back? No. Trust me, we've tried. As Warden and Boswell bump again. We talk about the rivalry between me and Spady Bud. Oh, down the inside goes Warren. That's going to be a move. And that is going to be the move of Vortex of Danger, folks. Warden tried to go up the inside going into turn 3. It was a well thought move, however, just too much speed going in, and now Warren has a very not significant amount of damage, but that hood is more flapping than freaking Gorgonson's was. So he's in a little bit of a sad place, and Gorgonson's lost both places to both boards.
Yeah, there was a quick yellow flag there for the 707, losing both of the like you mentioned, both the places to the 2 Porsches, who are now battling it out between them. Spady Bud and Jaeger Karu battling for 7th and 8th place, the 920 and the 921. Down the inside goes Karu. Can he get the move done? Unlike the lap before, holds on to the car, cutting in front of Spady Bud, side by side. They thought about it. Bud taking the curbing, and holding it though. He held it. He held it, avoiding the wall. Very, very skilled drive there after that bit of contact there. They are forming the Porsche wall. They're bumping down the main straight. Nowhere for Georgeson to go between these two. But yeah, Spady Bud holding on after taking the curbs very heavily at Cheetah as he sends it down the inside of turn 2. Can he get the move done over Karu? It looks like the move is done for the time being, but he's giving Karu the space to fight back. But he still has the inside line going through turn 5. It's a very brave move to go around the outside, just to dab on the brakes from Karu. Oh, goodness me. 3 cars colliding there. And Georgeson ends off the worse for wear there. Spady Bud picking up even more front end damage on the left-hand side of his car there, as Karu keeps trying to go through, and Georgeson just had nowhere to go as the Porsches really formed a wall pretty much.
Yeah, I was a bit of a wall there, and Jorgensen, love him for that, but he's just got to back out and try and save another day. Shane Sullivan's actually gotten the overtake done on Dr. Porkchop. Good job by by Scott Sullivan there to point out the fact that Shane was closing in on Porkchop, but that battle was just too good from the cameras to look away. And yes, a little bit of a tear, a little bit of a angry, is that an angry snowman or a sweating snowman? I actually don't know. I think of an angry snowman would look better than a sweating snowman, as Dr. Porkchop is gonna have his work cut out for him, as he's gonna have to try and chase the BMW of Sullivan. Both cars have good straight line speed. Both are kind of like, I got my last name compatriot covered. I figured as much. When I start confused, I haven't gotten you guys confused yet, so that's the goal for this season. Don't get the Sullivans confused.
Yeah, that's a good goal for this season. Scott, are you racing in any of the championships this season?
I don't. At least from as far as I'm aware, the only one he could do is Sunday, because that's not the one I'm looking at. Because I didn't see him in the Wednesday one. As Henry Boswell is going to take his opportunity to go, I'll switchback maneuver on a Porsche of Speedy Bud? No way he sends this.
Oh, okay, yes, he does. He
Speedy Bud's going to go for a switchback.
What is going on?
What is this? Is this just fight night at the rookies? Like, what is happening here? We're having switchback on switchback action. There's a yellow. Someone got disqualified. Oh, yep. What's got disqualified for?
Yep.
Yep, that'll do it. Both of us agree in unison. Yep, that'll do it.
Yeah.
That is Jacob Warren actually also out after like turn 4. So he's got a very damaged car. Rally Dutchie's just been in the pits for God knows how long. Oh my goodness,
Yeah, so for anybody, yes, exactly, Scott. So anybody wondering why he got that disqualification penalty, the game will give you a meatball flag, the black and orange flag. It's a black flag with an orange dot in the middle, and you have to pit when they tell you to, because it is unsafe for your car to be out on track. And so for that reason, Nicholas Woods picking up that disqualification penalty. As Rally Dutchie reporting no force feedback. Yeah, it looked pretty difficult to control there through that entire final sector, but good on you for not causing any more chaos than
killing anybody.
Yeah, but to put it heavily, as Tyler said, or to put it lightly, just keeping it all in one piece. Matroni here is right on the back of Easton. He is really pushing hard, oversteering through the S's here. That is going to give Ryan Easton a bit of breathing room, as he is really trying to get on the back of the Camaro to potentially take that second place away.
This second race has been nuts. Like, we talk about how, like, after the first race, the drivers get, like, a lot more confidence and, like, just throw things at a wall. This second race has literally been, I probably shouldn't send it. Screw it. I'm going to send it. Like, it's just, like, been crazy how many, like, switchbacks overtakes, contacts we've had in this one race alone. And the leader will be on the final lap. This will be Matroni's last chance to get that P2. And good news for him is Ryan Easton just has gone wide. So this might be the opportunity. The straight line speed of the McLaren is pretty good against any other car. The Camaro might have a little bit of an advantage, but as you can see, it's not that much. Matroni thought about it there, folks. I keep thinking Warden because it's a Camaro, but it's not. It is Easton. Easton covers it off quite well. As we now head into turn 3, we're going to start heading towards the sunset. And as the sun sets on this race and on the track, time is slowly ticking down through the hourglass. Matroni is running out of time. He's running out of track, and he's running out of the laps as well. As he goes a little bit wide and deep following Easton, and he is going to try every late braking technique, Kuja, to try and get that position 1.
Yeah, he sure is. The McLaren we know is a very strong car in these GT4s. Ryan Easton certainly has his work cut out for him, trying to hang on for dear life. Just one sector to go after they round this corner. One braking zone here. Very good overtaking opportunity. Matroni just having a sniff up the inside. Ryan Easton giving a little bit of room, but he's getting a really good exit. This is a really good opportunity here going into turn 13 at the Crocodiles. Does Ryan Easton take the defensive line? He does. He has the inside covered off. Matroni has to go the long way around, and he really can't do it just yet. Sam Warden just about 4 seconds up the road of this battling duo, and Matroni going into the gravel, and unless there's a mistake from Easton, that is going to be the position settled. Sam Warden taking the win in race 2. Congrats to him. Ryan Easton able to hold off the hard-charging Dom Matroni, who does take the final podium position here in race number 2. Ryan Cooper, strong performance yet again from him, starting higher up the grid, but still finishing up in 4th place. Shane Sullivan with Dr. Porkchop for company behind, but not that much of a straight here for the Mercedes to do anything about Shane Sullivan, finishing in the top 5. Dr. Porkchop just outside in 6th place in his AMG Mercedes. Jaeger Karu starting from last on the grid up into a strong top 10 finish in 7th place. Boswell in the background battling with Land Cloud, who was out of the race early in turn 5, but a really strong comeback. Can he get the drive out of the corner? It just doesn't have enough real estate to get the move done. The BMW of Boswell will finish 8th. Cloud in 9th. Spady, Bud, a bit of a yellow flag moment at the end, it looked like there. A lot of damage on the front end of the Porsche, but he will round out the top 10. Wade Georgeson, is he out of fuel? He might be out of fuel, the Camaro, but the 707 still creeping up to the line. Tinsley was able to get by. Moreira was able to get by. It is going to be close as Moreira, Flournoy, and Georgeson does get ahead of Moreira, who finishes in the pit lane, or just behind actually. So Georgeson across the line in 13th, Moreira in 14th, keyboard warrior Hezzy Thomas finishing out the finishers, or finishing out the grid in 15th place. Warren Dutchy and Woods, unfortunately, not able to see the checkered flag after their issues in the race. And that is round 1 of the rookies completed here at Kyalami.
Well, the first race of the season, we already have someone that's run out of fuel. That did not take long. Good job to the rookies. We invite the rookies that got the podiums. I think it was the top 3 all the same, Eason, Warden, and Matroni. So we'll get to hear from them about all 3 races, and we'll bring them all together in as one, and we'll get to see how Eason, or we'll get to see how Warden and Matroni feel about that contact with one another. Eason's already there, so time to pull Mr. Eason in. Hello, nice to see you.
Hello.
We're just gonna wait for the other 2 McLarens if they decide to hop in. It, yeah, Land Cloud. The second race was a bit of a disaster, but hey, you battled back. Good, strong race to end the season. Yeah, Eason.
Start the season.
Race. It feels like the end already.
I know there was so much action there.
So much action. Yeah, Eason, you did not get to see everything that happened behind you. There was so much that happened in race number 2. You didn't see anything up in your cozy little P2.
Yeah, it was nice until the last lap, but yeah.
Oh, well, the last lap you were definitely probably sweating.
Yeah, kinda.
Kind of.
Yeah,
Kind of.
I knew I could cover up the inside like I did, so I had a feeling.
You weren't worried about him dive bombing you in the final corner?
No, because he was a little farther back, so.
I love the confidence, Ryan. Yeah, so
it.
just talk us through a little bit of race 1 there. Just talk us through a bit of race 1. Yeah, there was a bit of a contact between the guys in front, and you were just kind of able to slip on through for the race win.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised Warden just let me pass, but to be honest, but grateful nonetheless. But yeah, I'm glad I could at least stay within a second or two to actually capitalize on that. So
yeah, it was like for us, it was kind of interesting because I think both me and Kuja can probably agree that he was trying to give the place back to Matroni after Warden just absolutely bumped him into turn 2, technically, by all speaking of the imagination. So I guess he was trying to wait for Matroni and then realized, wait, I should just probably go because, you know, it's a race and he'll probably lose like 5 positions doing it. So he just kind of went, and then he kind of just lost out to you, which kind of didn't really work out for him. But hey, you got a double podium first race of the, so can't complain there.
Nope. Was hoping for at least one podium this race. Practice wasn't all too confident until today, which I went below 51, so gained over a second in like 4 days or a week. So
yeah, no, definitely. You definitely look like you had a good setup, good speed, and I congratulate you for your double podium. And it's Brands Hatch next week. Good luck with that.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Mr. Eason. So far, it doesn't look like we are gonna get anyone else. At least I haven't seen Sam Moore or Matroni in the green room yet. So we'll give it a few more minutes. We'll just talk to the chat in the meantime, see if we get lucky.
Sure thing.
Oh, there's Sam Moore. Sam Moore, you didn't flip the car this time.
Oh, man.
I kept getting you confused with Eason because you were in a Camaro last season. So every time I'd see a Camaro, I'd be like, "Oh, it's Warden." No, wait, never mind. He's in a McLaren.
Yeah, I switched cars. Yeah, the Camaro is great, but I started messing around with the McLaren and really liked it. So, yeah.
You want to publicly apologize for race number 1?
I do want to publicly apologize. Absolutely horrible. I thought about just like in shame not qualifying for race number 2. I apologized to Domingo Matroni immediately, and if I can repay him back at some point in the season, I will. So.
Yeah, well, you tried to give the place back. At least that's what it looks like.
I did. I was like, oh God, it didn't look that bad. Maybe he's right behind me. So I slowed down and Ryan went by and I was like, okay. And then I was waiting. I was like, oh God, I really put him off. And then I was like, I just got to freaking get on with it. Yeah, felt terrible.
It was definitely a situation. And then in race number 2, you kind of just took the lead and just went away. Just, I don't want to see this no more. I don't want to deal with I don't want to deal with this anymore, which is fine. That is completely fair. It's just like, it's one of those things where you kind of miss out on all the action. Last season, you were in the thick of it. Now you're one of the top contenders so far in this season. Talk to me how that kind of goes to go from like the mid pack to being one of the odds-on favorites to win the championship this year.
Well, it's early, but thank you. But yeah, the mind games are totally different. So a lot more kind of like, oh God, a lot of pressure up front. They're gonna catch me. I gotta, play a little defense at the beginning, and I don't know. There's just a lot of different mental stuff going on. Before, last season was a ton of fun. And I was just kind of getting after it, and I wasn't worried about anything, and there was a lot of good fights, and yeah, I'm looking forward to that in the rest of the season, so hopefully that happens. It'd be pretty boring up front. And I promise, when I have a fight next time, Domingo, I will not put you off. So yeah.
I'm more worried about making sure you keep fuel. That's what I care about. Because we had like 3 or 4 incidences of no fuel last season, and then Georgeson ran out of fuel this season.
Oh no, I didn't know that.
In the second race, he literally got across and just literally like freaking Lightning McQueen pushing the King just across the line at the slowest amount of pace possible. I felt so bad.
While people fly by, yeah, that's terrible. I'm pretty paranoid about my fuel, but that could happen.
Oh, I always put like 10 liters more than I have to. I'd rather have all fuel than no fuel.
Right.
But congrats, Sam Warren. That's a good start. P2 and P1, so double podium for you.
Yeah, tons of fun.
We'll see how Brands Hatch works out for you next week.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks a lot, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, congrats, Sam, on those 2 podiums. I'm sure we'll see you in the near future as well. Brands Hatch next week, like Tyler mentioned, in the 8-round championship. On Tuesdays tomorrow, we'll go to Le Mans Ultimate for the season opener there. Wednesdays, we'll go back to ACC for the GT3 and GT4 multi-class, where that open has moved to. And then Thursdays, we'll go to the iRacing multi-class of GT3s and LMP2s. Fridays, we've got a quick LMU championship as well before the day off on Saturday. And on Sundays, the GT3 ACC championship has already started and begun on Sundays. Really looking forward to all of the summer action that we have ahead of us. Tyler's going to be racing in the GT3, GT4 multi-class on Wednesdays. Looking forward to seeing how he gets on. But the season opener here, done and dusted for the rookies. Concluding thoughts from you, Tyler.
If that's how any indication on how things are going to go for this season, oh boy, is this going to be a fun season.
Mm-hmm.
Even though you will not be around for most of it, half of it at least.
Like 2 or 3 races.
This is 2 or 3 races. Because I always forget there's a bye week in there.
Mm-hmm. I think during 4th of July week.
Yes, which actually, no, it'd be my birthday.
Perfect. Happy birthday. Well, happy early birthday.
I think
you get the day off.
I actually think no, I think Eric's got something planned. I think Eric's planning something big.
Oh, that'll be fun.
Hezzy Thomas, maybe next week, because we are going to finish up here, and I do believe Kuja has someone to raid at the end of this.
Yeah, we sure do. Sorry, Hezzy, we'll try to sneak in some more interviews next time. We usually just try to hear from the podium sitters. So, but I don't know. We'll always adjust and accord things to how things go. Thank you, as always, to everybody for joining us in the chat, in the race, and always keeping us company along with big thanks to Tyler coming back this season for the rookies. Big thanks to Trackalicious for having both of us back. And big shout out to all of the rookies for joining us for their first season, as well as all those returning back. Looking forward to see how all of our recent graduates get on Wednesdays as well in that GT3 and GT4 championships. Thanks everybody for joining us. We do indeed have a raid. We're gonna raid a guy called Campaign Ray. He's doing some iRacing at the moment. Make sure to give him some love. Thanks for that follow. Hope you enjoyed the stream tonight. We will be back tomorrow for Le Mans Ultimate in that season opener, if all things go according to plan, which I hope that they do tomorrow. Le Mans Ultimate, a really, really fun game to start getting involved in, with all of the exciting updates that are to come as well. But more on that later, more on that tomorrow. And now we get ourselves set up for the raid of Campaign Ray. Make sure to tell him Trackalicious sent you. Have a good rest of your morning, afternoon, evening, or night, wherever you are joining us from. We will see you all next time.